Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in. Today I have a little surprise video. We have printer number 4. Which one is it? You'll have to stay tuned. Coming up next year on Darkwing Dad. So if you can't tell, there's a box that's kind of in shot here. And yeah, I got another printer. As much as I would like to call it printer number 4, it's actually going to be replacing my cr10s behind me. The cr10s has been a great printer. It's done some cool prints. It kind of got me into the whole 3D printing world. However, I kind of fell in love with the cr10 V2. I've been looking to, get better prints, get better quality. When I kind of compared and contrasted the upgrades, the required upgrades that I wanted versus the cost of a new one, it was kind of a no-brainer. So without any further ado, I'm going to be setting up my cr10 V3 printer, which the main reasons I got this particular printer was to have the direct drive, again the silent board, and the BL Touch ready compatibility. As I've stated in the past, the cr10s, it is a great printer overall. It's just, it's a bit Jurassic, I guess you could say, in terms of out-of-the-box readiness. It's loud, it's clunky, and overall to get the cr10s upgraded to a V3 point or even a cr10 V2 point, the money put in versus what it would be just to get a new printer didn't really make all that much sense. Ultimately, I will be selling this printer just because it's just really, I just don't need it anymore, As stated, the cr10s, it was one of the first, bigger bed that Creality came out with. Obviously the cr10 and then the 10s. And really the only difference was the 10s had the power supply, shut off, resume, and the filament runout sensor. Other than that, it's the same printer. To get a silent board, it's an older board. It's a more involved install on the board. I believe that's around $65, the support rods, which I already installed, which I would hope reduce vibration and noise, which it really didn't. That was 60 bucks. Silicone bed mounts, no big deal. Those were 10 bucks. The Capricorn tubing, is what it is. It's $15. But then you get into, you need a specific BL Touch, which is around, $65. A direct drive kit for this is like $80. I mean, when you add all of those things up on a $400 to $425 printer, you're putting almost $300 into it. I was able to snag this V3 on a deal for $539 with the BL Touch. That is an awesome deal. So that's the reason why I went that route. 530 bucks. I should be able to get rid of this printer for about $300 to $350. So ultimately only paying about $230, $240 versus putting, $240, $245, into a cr10s, which still is not going to compete with the V3 out of the box by any standard. So that is the reason why ultimately I pulled the trigger on this. The direct drive I'm really excited for. I've heard a lot of great things. A lot of the troubleshooting issues I was having on this printer, the banding, the inconsistency with some of the prints, it all kind of looped back to, the board, the stabilization, and the lack of the direct drive. These big printers, the extruders move. They got to push that, filament all the way through the Bowden tube. It's a lot of strain, on the machine. And you know, you're not going to get a perfect print. If you want that, you really got to look towards resin. But I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not ready to make the jump for resin. I would get a small printer before I did that anyways and kind of work my way up. But that's what I've done with my FDM printer. So, you know, I started with this. I really am in love with my cr10 mini. I actually got some more upgrades, so I'll be doing a video on that. That printer just blows me away. It's just the capabilities of it. I wish this machine did that, and just for some reason it doesn't. Like I said, after I bought it, I kind of did some research and just realized, you know, the term I use, it's Jurassic. It's an older style printer. It's the same reason actually why I decided to return my cr10 S4 and go with this printer, because the S4 is the same machine as the 10S, just a bigger build plate. So I didn't want to get into getting a machine where there's not readily available upgrades for it, or the upgrades are a pain in the butt to install because it's so old. So that's why I went with this machine. So I'm super, super excited. So what I'm going to do is get the camera repositioned. I'm not going to do a whole setup video, because honestly this thing is basically the same as the cr10 V2, which I already have a video for. But I'm just going to get this thing set up and just kind of show you guys some of the features of it, give my general input on it. Obviously I'm not going to do any prints right away. This is just kind of an unveiling and unboxing, but we're going to get this thing set up, take a look at it, go over some of the specs, and wrap this video up. So let me get this thing set up and enjoy the time lapse. All right, well, that's it. After some routine adjustments and checking the belts and pretty much everything I did in my cr10 V2 video, the cr10 V3 just passed the initial test print. Very smooth. There's a couple things I do need to tweak in the settings. I did go through Cura. I already did the E-steps and everything, so if you guys have questions on how to do that, I will say that my unit was way under calibrated compared to most of my printers. Most of my printers are off by maybe 5 or 7 millimeters. This was off by 20.1 millimeters, so it was under extruding quite a bit. But did that same process, did the E-steps. I'm going to calibrate flow rate right now on this because I have yet to do that, but I just did a quick print. And it seemed pretty good, but definitely want to check the flow rate on it real quick. But overall, it's a pretty cool machine, so I'll flip the camera on and let you take a look at it. So yeah, I wish I would have kind of done a setup video for this, because it actually is a lot different than the V2. I mean, obviously you still have the control box here, but it's a lot different because your filament runout sensor is up at the top and the filament is top loaded. So I was just using some Solutech filament just to do a test print, but it basically is fed through these guiders, and all your horsepower is down here. It basically just pulls the filament through, and everything's heated the way that it normally is, and it comes out a little bit different, but overall it's a very similar machine. I do have a BL Touch coming in tomorrow, so I'll have a video for you guys on that. I'm also having a BL Touch put in on my V2, so I'll probably do both printers in one video. But that's pretty much it. So this is printer number 3. I've already got the 10S. This room's destroyed. I've got the 10S there. That's going to be getting packed up and sent to its new home. I've got the new beast right here, so we're going to test flow right here on this, see how it's looking, and start printing some goodies. So that's pretty much it on the V3. I'll wrap this up here. Well, that's it. I know it wasn't the most exciting video in the world, but to me it's pretty cool because I've definitely been looking forward to getting a direct drive printer. And when I get the BL Touch installed, hopefully tomorrow, this will really be, you know, kind of my workhorse. But this printer is very similar to the V2, super quiet, super smooth. It was a lot looser in a lot of areas. The extruder was incredibly loose, so I had to tighten that. And I had a lot of play on my X gantry, so I had to go and kind of mess with that. And the bed was really, really tight. So this actually needed a lot more tweaks. If I would have tried to print out of the box, it definitely would have been a bad situation. So that just proves that with every 3D printer you have, whether it's new or old, that you should always check, you know, your X gantry, your Z axis, your Y axis. Check your extruder, make sure all your belts, all your wheels, everything is tight but not too tight, and you definitely don't want things loose. Make sure you get those E-steps, do that flow rate. I have videos on all of those, so if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll be doing probably a 30 or 45 day checkup on this printer, just to let you know how it goes. I will be doing some minor upgrades to my cr10 Mini. We're going to be putting some all metal hardware on there, along with some stainless steel nozzles, in hopes to improve print. It does print great, but we want it to print even better, so we're going to do some minor upgrades and see how that helps. But for now, that's it, guys. So despite my grouchy shirt, I'm in a great mood because I got my V3 today and it came 3 days early. So I'm gonna keep messing around with this. Be on the lookout for more videos. Hit that like and subscribe button if you are a subscriber. Click the notification bell to be notified of more videos. I am going to be doing another video tomorrow on all of my projects that are going on in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I have a ton of stuff that's coming out, so I just want to do a quick video to let you guys know. Sneak peek, one of them is going to include this guy right here. We are going to be doing a Killmonger helmet, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to do color change eyes on that, and how to add gold accents and add color to your print without picking up a spray can or primer or sanding or doing anything. So be on the look for that. So I'll have that video up tomorrow. It's going to have about 5 or 6 different projects I got going on in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So make sure you see that. See you next time, guys. Later.